In this video, I'm going to show you how to package, promote, and profit from your story. First thing you have to understand is that your story, although it's about you, it's not about you when it comes to the marketplace. You want to be able to effectively tell your story in a way that your audience can see themselves through your story and allow them to gain the insight and the wisdom so that they overcome the problem that they are going through and they get to their solution. Now, you don't want to come online and just say, I've been through this and I've been through this and I've been through this. This is you making it all about you. And this is why your audience will lose interest when you're sharing your story. You want to be able to tie in some insights and some wisdom, some understanding, so that they start to gain awareness about themselves, about their own lives. So you're not just telling a narrative that they can't see themselves in. So if you want to be able to package, promote, and profit from your story, I've got some steps for you to follow. Number one is you want to pinpoint your pivotal moments. So just like everybody, you got a whole life story. But within that story, there are stories within stories. So for me personally, I've got a story about growing up wanting to be a physical therapist. My mom had a stroke when I was 5 years old. She was 29. I grew up saying, I want to be like Tammy. Tammy was my mom's physical therapist. My parents are both from Trinidad, so they came here to the United States, immigrated here for us to have a better life. And it was all about going to school, getting a good education, and getting a good job. And I was like, I'm going to be a PT. It was a safe job. It was a job in healthcare that, hey, I would never be out of a job. That's kind of how that thinking was. But I found myself a year working as a physical therapist, like, this cannot be my life. This just isn't it. There's more in there because I know that God planted a seed inside of me from childhood. And he made it so that I would continue on this journey of discovering myself and then now being able to find him. Actually, I didn't find him. He found me because I didn't know to look for him. But he gave me the seed. And so I've been on this discovery journey. And now I've pivoted from the physical therapy world, working a 9 to 5, into business. So that is one part of my story. The other component of my story is when I talk about my stutter. And I talk about my stutter and I'm saying, I couldn't even say my own name, which is true. And I have a very particular story from high school where I was sitting on the grass at freshman high school orientation, and we were all going around the circle and saying our name and what we're excited about for the coming school year. And I was counting the amount of people until my turn so I could practice saying my own name. The narrative in my head at the time was, Siobhan, you're a dummy. Like, who has to practice saying their own name? When it was time, I tripped over my own name. I couldn't even say Siobhan. But it was in that moment that I learned that speaking leads to humiliation. And that moment marked me. And I was afraid to now speak up. So I silenced my voice, I silenced my expression. Now, fast forward to when I decided, hey, business is a venture and a route that I want to go into. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to speak to people. I'm going to have to be on camera. I'm going to have to market. And so my stutter story took me in a different direction. So those are foundational stories. So I want you to go through your own life. What are some highs? What are some lows? What are the peaks? What are the valleys? And what are the things that you have overcome through those pivotal moments? Okay, so mark those down because you have to have something to package, right? You can't just tell your story. You got to learn what the highs, what the lows are, what are the lessons all in between so you can package them. So pinpoint your pivotal moments. Number two is you want to process your path. So there's a path that you took in order to overcome whatever problem or issue that you were dealing with. You had a process. Now, whether you're immediately aware of it or not, you've taken yourself through a process. You've learned some things, you've changed behavior, you've implemented things that have allowed you to now be where you are, to be on the other side of the thing, the challenge, the problem that you were dealing with. And so when you are considering what your highs and lows are, when you were in the low, what did you do to get back to the high? Okay, so you want to process your path. What did that look like? Go over your story's timeline and allow this to be just a brain dump. Maybe you prefer talking. Well, get on video, record yourself, and just start talking about your story. You want to be in a free flow because the last thing you want to do is to stifle any part of your message because somebody needs that. So you want to process your path. What is this result, right, that you are now on the other side of? And it's like, oh, this is what I've done. These are some of these steps. Okay. So write that down. And then number 3, you want to package your proven pathway. So all of those steps that you took, this is where the packaging comes in. You want to package that into a pathway. I always teach on frameworks. A framework allows your audience to understand what it is they need to do practically in order to get the same or similar results as you. So when you have a framework, what you've done is you've taken your story and you've now made it practical for somebody to go, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Now, within a framework, think about this like an outline you're creating. You've got capital A, if y'all remember from school, you got capital A, you've got your big heading, then you have little a, and then underneath the little a, you have the small one. Okay, I want you to create this kind of an outline. That is a framework. Name your 4 to 5 or 3 to 5 big steps that you took. Underneath each step, there are going to be micro steps that you take. When you start doing that, you are now creating your framework. I have an entire series on creating your own framework. I will post a link down below for you to tap into that series after you watch this video, because you'll be able to now know how do you take everything you just went through, all the brain dumping, and create your framework to now be able to teach from. So you have your framework that makes it easy for your audience to make it practical. This is also, so you're not talking always about yourself and you're not saying, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, because your audience is thinking, well, good for you. Like that's great. You want a round of applause? That's what they're saying in their head when they read, if they even get that far in your story. But the moment that you make it tangible for them and practical for them, now they're learning about you. They're learning about what you've been through, but what they're really doing is seeing themselves in something you've been through. When I talk about my stutter, people have reached out to me and said, I used to stutter. And some people are like, I still stutter. How did you stop? I'm like, well, if you listen closely, sometimes I still do. I am not perfect, but I know where it comes from and I know what I need to do in order to continue to improve my speaking ability. And every time I make a video or I'm on live or I'm speaking in front of a crowd, there are some things that I will take myself through beforehand in order to either calm nerves or really feel embodied in the words that I'm saying. So just keep in mind that when I'm talking about my stutter story, it's not just my story. It's like, here are the steps that I took. I also have a video on that as well. Okay, so package your proven pathway into a framework. Number 4, present and profit. Now, how you present your framework is now going to be in like an offer. It's going to be an offer. That offer is something that is going to deliver the solution for your audience. They're going to be able to get the same or similar result that you got or you've helped other people to now get. That can look like doing one-on-one coaching. Now, I know a lot of people are like, don't do one-on-one coaching, don't sell your time. But if you are new in the consulting world, in the coaching world, it's actually really great to work with some people one-on-one, even getting some beta clients to be able to take people through your process, through your framework, so you can test it out. Don't just put it all out there and try to sell it before you test it. Test it on yourself, of course, yes, but test it on somebody else out there. Okay, make sure that you're working with a person who is wanting the same result that you've been able to achieve for yourself. Or maybe the goal that you have is you do something in your job and you want to turn that into coaching or you want to turn that into consulting. It's a little bit different when you go from a 9-to-5 job skill and make it into a business. It's a little bit different and there's some caveats to it. And so having a one-on-one client or a couple one-on-one clients helps you kind of get your feet wet into the momentum of how to effectively coach people through your own framework. So one-on-one clients, and I don't recommend you stay doing one-on-one all the time. You want to evolve your business model so you're not just selling your time for money, even though you're probably making a lot more money doing one-on-one coaching that you did at your job. You want to be able to evolve and go into one-to-many. So this is the next thing. Either one-on-one coaching or you do some kind of group coaching where you have, however many people you can handle at a time to be able to facilitate a transformation. You can also do master classes where you do paid mini master classes to teach this concept, whatever it is you are teaching and leading people to. You could also write a book. You can put all of this into a book, and now you have an asset where you don't need your time and the book just continues to sell and you continue to promote it. You can be a speaker. You can take your message to a bigger platform. Now, you can be on YouTube as well, where you start to promote and present your offer through creating content, through creating videos. So I want you to see, these are all the different avenues that you can take, but it all starts with your story, but it's not just about telling it. It is about packaging the pivotal moments into a pathway, a process, a framework, and then presenting that in a way that your audience can now purchase from you an offer. And that can look different for everyone. So this is how you start to think about your story. How does it serve your audience? Not how does it serve your pocket? How does it serve your audience? What are they going to be able to gain from your story? What is the insight? What is the wisdom that they're now able to extrapolate from the things that you are saying? I want you to just consider that you have a cup in your heart, and that cup is so full to be able to deliver a solution to your audience. Now, when you share your story online and you want people to love on you and like what you're saying, you're showing up online with an empty cup in your heart because you need people to pour into it. You need people to tell you that you did a good job. You're looking for the applause. That's going to disconnect people from your story. But when you show up online with your story, but it's your story wrapped in a way that your audience can see themselves because you care enough to take the time to contemplate through all of these things that I just shared and put this in a way that your audience can receive it, now you're showing up with a cup in your heart that's full. And when you create your content, you are now pouring into your audience. It's an outpour. You're pouring from your overflow because you have a level of belief and conviction in your ability to have a transformation for yourself and help create one for others. So you want to show up online with this servant heart. You want to be able to help people solve their problems. And when it comes to pricing, you want to be able to price in a way that supports your lifestyle, but also price in a way that matches the value of the problem that you are helping your audience to solve. There are micro problems in this world and there are macro problems in this world that people are trying to solve. And so you have to understand, what is it valued at for this person to solve this problem? What is their return on being able to solve this problem? What does their life look like once they're able to solve this problem? Part of the reason why the coaching and consulting world, we can charge a lot higher because the return on investment, if you invest $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, you're making $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $60,000 monthly based off of how you've been able to be served. So you invested $5,000, maybe $10,000, maybe $15,000, but you're getting $50,000, $60,000. And I'm not saying that happens overnight, but what I am saying is that from the guidance and information that you have learned, from the transformation that you have learned from investing with a coach, your life is exponentially better. It's the same thing for your audience. Their life is going to be exponentially better, and it's going to be better faster because there's an ignorance tax. There is a price that people pay for not knowing what you know. There's a price that people pay for not being in proximity with you and your particular solution. So it is your job, it is your duty to serve those people and to sell them the solution. It's selfish not to. You got to understand that selling is not icky. You only feel icky when you've got some hangups about money, when you've got some hangups about maybe not being able to truly provide the result. But it's as simple as this. You package it, you promote it, and you profit from it. And it's as simple as that. Follow those steps. I will drop a link down below for you to watch the series on creating a framework, and I will see you all in another video. Bye.